At the University of Lagos, Tosi and Amaka were more than friends. They were sisters. They bumped shoulders playfully. They shared jollof rice from a plastic takeaway container. Tosi feeds Amaka a spoonful. They burst into laughter. They shared everything: secrets, dreams, even their last spoon of rice. They lie on the bed facing each other, excited. Tosi: on my wedding day, you'll stand beside me. Amaka: and your husband must be rich, oh. They giggle. They dreamed of weddings. They promised nothing would ever separate them. They hug tightly, tears in their eyes. They believed the future was theirs. They didn't know their future would test their promise. Years later, Tosin found love. She was marrying the man of her dreams, and beside her stood the one person she trusted most. Kunle slides the ring onto Tosin's finger. Tosin trembles with joy. The bouquet flies. Amaka catches it, but she freezes. A small, almost invisible smirk appears. In that moment, something changed. Marriage suited Tosin. Her Instagram glowed with carefully framed photos from her luxury living room in Lekki. Kunle wrapped his arms around her as she laughed into the camera. Outside, a white Range Rover gleamed in the driveway. "Forever," she captioned one photo. Miles away in her small Yaba apartment, Amaka scrolled quietly through her phone. The soft glow of the screen reflected in her eyes. Her lips tightened slightly. She scrolled again. Another smiling couple photo. Another congratulatory comment. Another reminder. Rain began falling outside her window. She stared at the screen longer than she needed to. Comparison planted a seed in her heart that night, and envy watered it. The storm that followed was not just outside. One evening, during a heavy rainfall in Lekki, Tosin traveled out of town to visit family. Amaka stopped by the duplex to keep Kunle company. Candles flickered in the dim living room after a power outage. Shadows danced against the walls. Conversation softened. Laughter slowed. Their hands brushed accidentally. They froze. Fingers lingered just a little too long. Eye contact stretched into silence. Thunder cracked across the sky, but neither of them moved away. Temptation rarely announces itself loudly. It whispers. A week later, hotel hallway lights in Victoria Island reflected neon against polished floors. A door closed softly, and later still, phone screens glowed in dark rooms as messages were deleted. Secrets erased with a single tap. But nothing truly disappears. Tosin found out on an ordinary afternoon. She had picked up Kunle's phone absent-mindedly when a message notification appeared. "Hey baby, I missed last night." Her breath caught. Her fingers trembled. She scrolled. Photos, messages, proof. Her hands began shaking so violently she nearly dropped the phone. The world around her blurred. Tosin and Amaka met in a cafe in Wusetu. The room was full, yet the air between them was painfully quiet. Tosin placed the phone on the table. Amaka stared at it, then at Tosin. No denial, no excuse strong enough to hold the weight of betrayal. The slap echoed louder than the cafe chatter. Heads turned. Rain began falling lightly outside as Tosin stood up and walked away in slow motion, her shoulders heavy with the loss of both husband and sister. Divorce followed, a Nigerian courtroom filled with tension and finality. The judge's gavel struck. Marriage dissolved. Trust destroyed. Amaka moved into the Lekki duplex soon after. She walks through the living room confidently, taking in the space she once admired from a distance. For a moment, she felt victorious. But victory built on betrayal is fragile. At dinner one evening, Kule sat across from her, his attention fixed on his phone. He barely looked up. Silence filled the space where laughter once lived. Later that night, curiosity led her to his unlocked screen. A message popped up. "Can't wait to see you again." Her heart dropped. Her breath slowed. She scrolled through conversations that felt painfully familiar. The same story, different woman, history repeating. Moonlight poured into the dark house as Amaka sat alone, regret finally louder than pride. The house felt colder than ever. Meanwhile, Tosi rebuilt. In Enugu, she poured her pain into purpose. Her catering business flourished. Steam rose from trays of jollof rice as customers, young and old, smiled and returned for more. Laughter filled her kitchen once again. In the backyard of her modest home, Tosin chased her son Chidera through the sunlight, her white sweater bright against the green grass. She lifted him high as he squealed with joy. Peace had found her. Not the kind she once imagined, but real, earned, quiet. Elsewhere, Amaka sat alone flipping through old Unilag photos. Two girls laughing on a campus bench. Two sisters sharing rice. Two friends who once believed nothing could separate them. A tear fell onto the photograph. Regret arrived too late. As the sun rose one peaceful morning, golden light washed over Tosin's face. She stood still, breathing deeply, her smile calm and unforced. She had lost her marriage. She had lost her best friend, but she had not lost herself. And sometimes, that is the greatest victory of all. Fade to white. The end.